My name is Clara. I am 42 years old, and for 20 years I lived in a house built on secrets. They say that silence is gold, but sometimes silence is a heavy chain that pulls you under the water. I'm a librarian. I spend my days surrounded by books and quietness. I like order. I like peace. But my own life was far from peaceful. My husband, Thomas, was a successful businessman. He was a man of few words. People respected him because he was quiet, but I feared his silence. We lived in a large, beautiful house on the edge of the city. To the world, we were the perfect couple. We had the money, the cars, and the garden. But inside the house, the air was always cold. Thomas didn't talk about his work. He didn't talk about his feelings. He just gave me money and expected me to be happy. I told myself it was enough. I told myself that a quiet husband is better than an angry one. I stayed silent when I wanted to ask questions. I stayed silent when I felt lonely. I hid my tears in the pages of my books. Then came the winter that changed everything. Thomas started coming home later than usual. He smelled of expensive perfume that wasn't mine. He would sit in his office for hours with the door locked. I could hear him whispering on the phone. My heart told me something was wrong, but my mind told me to stay quiet. I didn't want to lose my comfortable life. I didn't want to face the truth. One night, I found a small receipt in his pocket while doing the laundry. It was for a diamond necklace, a necklace I never received. I stood there, holding that small piece of paper, and I realized that my silence had given him the power to betray me. I had been so quiet that he thought I was blind. That night, I didn't say anything. I watched him eat dinner. I watched him smile at his phone. I realized that my silence was no longer a choice. It was my prison. The next morning, Thomas left for a business trip. He left his laptop on the desk unlocked. It was the first time in 10 years. I opened it. The emails I found were not just about another woman. They were about a life I didn't know. He had another family in another city. He had been using our savings to buy them a house. My silence had allowed him to build a whole different world while I sat alone in our big, empty home. I didn't scream. I didn't break things. I just sat there. I realized that by not speaking up years ago, by not demanding honesty, I had helped him lie to me. When he returned, I was gone. I left the receipt and the laptop open on the table. I took only my books and my dignity. Now I live in a small apartment. It is not grand, but the air is warm. I speak my mind now. I have learned that silence is a tool, but if you use it to hide from the truth, it will eventually destroy you. Lesson 1. Not all silence is peace. Many people stay quiet because they want to avoid conflict. They think that by not speaking, they are keeping the peace. But internal peace is more important than external peace. If you are quiet outside but screaming inside, you are destroying yourself. True peace comes from honesty, not from hiding. Speak your truth, even if your voice shakes. Lesson 2. Silence can be misinterpreted as permission. When you don't speak up against something that hurts you, people think you are okay with it. In my marriage, my silence told Thomas he could do whatever he wanted. Boundaries are not built with silence. They are built with words. If you don't say no, people will assume the answer is yes. Lesson 3. Privacy is different from secrecy. Privacy is healthy. Secrecy is dangerous. Privacy is having a space for yourself. Secrecy is hiding something that would change how people see you. If someone you love has many secrets, their silence is not a sign of strength. It is a red flag. Healthy relationships breathe in the light, not in the dark. Lesson 4. Silence is a shield, not a weapon. Use silence to protect your energy, but never use it to punish others or to hide your own mistakes. When we use silence as a weapon, we lose the ability to connect. If you are hurting, talk. If you are growing, work in silence. Knowing the difference is the key to a strong character. Lesson 5. People hear what you don't say. Your body language, your eyes, and your energy speak louder than your mouth. Thomas knew I was unhappy, but because I didn't speak, he ignored it. Don't wait for people to guess how you feel. The world is too busy to play guessing games. Be clear, be direct, be heard. Lesson 6. Silence builds focus, but communication builds bridges. To achieve your goals, you must work in silence. Don't announce your plans to the world. Let your success make the noise. However, in your personal life, you must build bridges with words. You cannot have a deep relationship with someone if you never share your inner world. Lesson 7. Words have value. Don't waste them. When you speak all the time, people stop listening. When you speak only when it matters, your words have the power of a hammer. Choose your words carefully. Don't gossip, don't complain. Speak to inspire, to heal, or to teach. A quiet person who speaks wisely is more powerful than a loud person who speaks nonsense. Lesson 8. Silence helps you observe. The best way to learn about someone is to stay quiet and watch. People will eventually show you who they are. You don't need to ask many questions. Just observe their actions, how they treat others, and how they handle stress. Silence is your best teacher in understanding human nature. Lesson 9. Protecting your plans in silence. Many dreams die because they are shared too early. When you tell everyone your big goals, you receive fake satisfaction. Your brain thinks you have already done the work. Keep your big goals to yourself until they are finished. The world doesn't need to see the process, it only needs to see the result. Lesson 10. Emotional control starts with a pause. When someone insults you or makes you angry, your first instinct is to shout back. This is a weakness. Strength is the ability to stay quiet for 10 seconds. In those 10 seconds, your emotion dies and your logic wakes up. Silence in a moment of anger saves 1,000 moments of regret. Lesson 11. Not everyone deserves your story. Your past, your struggles, and your pain are precious. Don't share them with people who just want to gossip. Some people listen to help, but many listen to judge. Be selective. Your story is your power. Don't give it away to people who haven't earned your trust. Lesson 12. Silence is the foundation of self-respect. You don't need to explain yourself to everyone. If someone misunderstands you, let them. You don't owe everyone an explanation for how you live your life. When you stop trying to prove yourself, you gain a quiet confidence that no one can take away. Lesson 13. The power of listening. Most people listen to reply, not to understand. If you can learn to stay quiet and truly listen, you will become the most valuable person in the room. People love to be heard. By giving them your silence, you are giving them a rare gift. Lesson 14. Quiet growth is the strongest growth. Think of a tree. It grows in silence for years before it provides shade. Don't be in a hurry to be famous or noticed. Focus on your roots. Build your skills, your mind, and your character in the dark. When the time is right, you will shine, and no one will be able to blow out your light. Lesson 15. Learning to be alone. Silence teaches you to be comfortable with yourself. If you are afraid of silence, you are afraid of your own thoughts. Spend time alone. Meditate. Think. When you are no longer afraid to be alone, you become unstoppable because you are no longer dependent on others for your happiness. In the end, Clara's story reminds us that while we must work in silence to achieve our goals, we must never stay silent when our heart is being broken. Use your silence to grow, to plan, and to observe, but use your voice to love, to protect, and to live truthfully. If this story touched your heart and helped you practice your English, please subscribe to Simple English Stories. We bring you lessons and stories that build your language and your life. What is one thing you are working on in silence? Let us know in the comments below. Keep practicing, keep listening, and keep growing.